Richard Cooper's quote is that women don't care about men's struggles. They wait at the finish line and they bang the winners. Now, I've told you in the past that my take on that is that that's half right. I think it's definitely has credibility to it. But most women cannot be the winners waiting at the finish line. And there are very few winners, getting the checkered flag as it is. So what happens is women have to make a bet on guys. And some bets are surer than other bets. So what they're doing is saying, okay, I'm in my 20s or maybe early 30s in this case. They're in their 20s and they're like, okay, I got to make a bet on this guy. I got to hedge my bets. I have to make sure that I'm betting on the winning horse. Because if I don't, like they have as Jordan Peterson would be happy to explain to you, women bear a much higher responsibility and a higher investment cost when it comes to reproduction, right? So it's like, I've got to find a guy and have like my well-developed feminine intuition with my covert power because I am the vulnerable sex. So I've got to figure out how, shut up. I'm not doing that. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Miguel. No, we're not doing it. Do you want me to? I'll tell you what, I will do a 24-hour live stream as like a telethon for a noble cause. Maybe I'll do it for like to generate money for like Greyhound rescues. How's that? I'm 3:30. I'm not even at the 4-hour mark, man. We're just getting started. But the thing is like when women are making this, they're looking for prospects. They're saying, is this guy going to be a winner? Or is he going to be a loser? Well, Tim was pretty much on his way to being a winner at that point. The dude's building fucking skate parks in his own house. Of course he's got money. So yeah. So she wants to link up with that. She wants to be attached to that. Because Tim Pool is contextually the only alpha she knows. Yeah, he's full of himself. And he even says, not in this, maybe a little bit in this, not in this video, but like in another video, how he's Tim is very egotistical. He's become that way anyways. I don't know if that was his personality type to begin with. He didn't seem that way when he was doing the man on the street kind of, YouTube, Zoom, was it a GoPro on his hat kind of, content. But now maybe he is. The one thing you will notice, and this is an aside, sorry. The one thing you'll notice about guys who are like empire builders, whether they intended to or they just stumbled into their empire, the one thing that they all share in common is they want to secure that empire. When you ask, well, what does a rich man want? You know what he wants? He doesn't want power. He wants security. He wants to know that he's insured against bad times. He wants to know that the money that he has right now is going to last for the rest of his life and probably into his children's lives. He wants security. And the way they do that, the reason why rich guys seem like the stingiest bastards in the world, and they could have come from poverty, but they tend to be like the most like miserly people that you've ever known. It's because they want security. They want to know, like, I've got all this, I got all this money, and like the arm bar around it, because you never know when the depression's going to hit. You never know when you might have to stuff money into your mattress. And there's this mentality. When guys go from making and this has been my experience with the guys that I've worked with who like have gone from nothing to a lot, they tend to not become assholes or egotists because of their personality, but it's because they are wanting to hang on to what they've got. I get it. Fuck, I had to change my mind about money. Like when I started making money as Rollo Tomassi, I had to be very careful of that. But I'm not stupid enough to say, well, I'm confident enough in my abilities to know that I could generate more if I had to. So I tend not to be, if anything, to a fault. I'm a little bit generous to a fault. I'll give away more than I actually have sometimes. But I do that not because, hey, not because I'm virtue signaling or anything, although you could probably say that I am. Maybe I am. But also because I want to see something done with the resources and the prosperity that I have. I'm of the opinion that if your cup runneth over, spill some, give some to others, right? Let's see what they can do with it. Some are more worthy than others, right? But most guys, and I would say Tim probably falls into this category, is that they tend to be miserly because a rich man, you can't get, like, what do you get a rich man for his birthday? What do you give a rich man for Christmas? This Christmas is coming up. What are you going to give? What am I going to give Fresh? Fresh has like more money than I do. Definitely. driving McLarens. He just bought what? He got a fucking Rolls Royce. I haven't even been in the Rolls Royce. He bought that like between like August and now. What am I going to give? What can I possibly give? Fresh. You know what I'm going to give him? I'm going to give him and Big Mo knows this too. I'm going to give him a pine cone from Lake Tahoe. Completely worthless, but it's a magic pine cone though. I have to say it is a magic pine. There's a little bit of magic in it. I'll explain what I mean later. I'm going to give him the most perfect pine cone in the National Forest, the Sierra National Forest. Yep. That's what he's getting. Because I can't give him a Rolls Royce, but you know what rich, powerful men want? It's not more powerful. They want security. They want to ensure that they're never going to want for anything. And so when you get a guy like Tim, or you see women, by the way, get off on that, because women primarily need long-term security longer than their sexual agency will allow them to lock down a guy who can provide that long-term security. So when she sees something like this, she's going to stick with that. Like I've done those shows where I've explained how like Dutch women in World War II linked up with the officers of the German army at that time. And then they had their heads shaved as a result once the German officers were either killed or they were booted out of Holland at that time. Now that's one country, by the way. There's many other instances of the war brides dynamic. That's really what that boils down to. But the human nature, the female nature part of that is women. They need security. They would rather screw national identity, screw tribalism. If this guy right here is going to be in the winning team and he can provide security for me and my babies, screw the Netherlands. I'm going to get with the German officer. And that's essentially what Lydia was doing here. And that's essentially how men lose their empires, because they can't appreciate the innate opportunism that women operate from, particularly when it comes to love. Now, this is the most exaggerated form of this. I'm not saying all women are like that. But women's concept of love is based on opportunism. Sometimes that opportunism is very, very ugly.